Gearing up for the big game, the countdown is on for the start of the Blue Jays playoff run tomorrow afternoon, and we now know who their opponent is going to be.
The New York Yankees will be coming to town. The first time the two division rivals will be meeting in the playoffs, and excitement in the city is building. CTV Sean Leathong joins us now live from the Rogers Center with more. Sean.
Well, Nathan and Michelle, the Blue Jays will have their work cut out for them. They are playing the other giant in the American League, the New York Yankees. Both teams had the exact same record with 94 wins this season, but the Blue Jays did have an advantage in the season series, so that was what won them the AL East. But let's first take a look at just how the Yankees got here with their game last night.
And the Yankees have completed step one on their way back to a World Series.
The Blue Jays beating the Boston Red Sox 4-0 last night in the Bronx in their best-of-3 series, winning 2-1, with Boston having won the first game of the series. Now, going into the playoffs, the Yankees had won their last 8 games of the regular season, but when they played the Blue Jays during the regular season, as you're seeing highlights right now, the Blue Jays had an 8-5 record against the New York Yankees, really capped off by the sweep of the Yankees in the Rogers Center over the Canada Day long weekend, 4 games straight. That was when the Blue Jays took the lead in the AL East, and they never looked back. Now, what will be happening for the next couple of days at the Rogers Center? The Jays will be opening up against the Yankees at 4 o'clock on Saturday, 4 o'clock on Sunday with their first 2 home games. We got to speak with Mark Shapiro and Jose Bautista about what they consider this team to be and what the players should do. Here's what they had to say.
Something special about this group, you know, the number of comeback wins, most in the major leagues, the resilience that they've shown. I think last year's challenges, last year's adversity is part of this year's success. It brought them closer. It's an incredibly close-knit group. That what you see on the field is how they are in the clubhouse and in the locker room. They care about each other, and they believe in each other. So it's an easy group of guys to root for and pull for. And I think they represent some great things about this city and country as well.
The pressure is going to be on, so I suggest the guys to calm down. You channel that energy correctly. Just focus on the task at hand. Take a few deep breaths, because your excitement can get a hold of you in games like this. So keep your cool, but also play the game with joy, just like you did when you were a little boy, and have a lot of fun out there.
So you can see they're working on the field behind us. Today is workout day for both teams to get accustomed to the Rogers Center. The Blue Jays, we know, will be having live batting practice at about 3:45 this afternoon. And we do know that the Yankees are in town as we await first pitch tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Nathan and Michelle, send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean. Still to come this noon hour, the Prime Minister is headed to Washington. We'll have details on Mark Carney's trip to meet Donald Trump and what he hopes to achieve. But first, a dramatic scene in the city's West End. A 2-alarm fire tearing through an abandoned home overnight. The blaze forced nearby residents to evacuate their homes as crews battled the flames. CTV's Janice Golding joins us live from the scene this afternoon. It's near Keele and Eglinton with more on this investigation. What can you tell us, Janice?
Hi, Michelle. I can tell you that police and fire officials are still on scene of this 2-alarm blaze, which happened at Keele and Eglinton, actually about 3 blocks south of Eglinton on Keele. Fire officials tell us that they were called here just after midnight, and when they arrived, they found a home that was fully engulfed in flames. The fire spreading to several nearby vehicles. I counted 5 in total, as well as to the home next door, which sustained some serious damage through the roof. And the family tells us that their house has been completely destroyed. Now, residents in the neighboring homes were evacuated, and fire officials say no one was injured. Several neighbors do tell us, however, that the structure was a long-abandoned home that they had complained about to the city many times. Here is more from a woman who lived next door, who, as I mentioned, had her house badly damaged by flames.
The 12:30 a.m., the police knocked the door. We did not know anything. We're sleeping. We did not know anything, and they say move out. When I go out, I saw a big fire. And my neighbor, a lot of the great big fire. A lot of I never see like that.
This house has been hit like this for over 30 years. I kid you not. It's like it didn't surprise me when I heard about it. Because it has been vacant for so long.
Last night, at just after midnight, crews from Toronto Fire responded to this address for report of a house fire. As when crews arrived, the home was fully involved. Crews made a quick, steady attack, attacking the fire, knocking it down quickly. They were able to protect exposures on both sides because we had homes on both sides, and we were able to evacuate all people. We had no injuries, and the fire was knocked down without any incident.
The Toronto Fire tells us that there was a structural collapse here, which they call a pancake collapse. And as you can see behind us here, there is literally nothing left of the structure except one brick wall. The cause of the fire has not been determined, but fire officials are still on scene, making sure that no hot spots reignite. Reporting live, I'm Janice Golding. Now back to Michelle.
Thank you, Janice. Meantime, one person has been injured in a fire at a supportive housing complex. This blaze broke out just before 4 a.m. in the area of Dundas and Dovercourt. Paramedics say a man in his 70s was found in the hallway and rushed to hospital with serious injuries. The cause of the fire is under investigation, but officials do say it isn't believed to be suspicious.
Meanwhile, police in Halton region are investigating after shots were fired at a movie theater. It's the same theater that was the target of an arson attempt last week. 2 people were caught on camera setting fire to the Film.ca cinemas on Spears Road, September 25th. The shooting happened just before 2 early yesterday morning. A statement from Film.ca cinemas says it appears the showing of certain South Asian films has led to the incidents, and all future screenings of such films have been suspended indefinitely.
A Mississauga family says they are living in fear after watching masked men break into their home on a doorbell camera.
They say their home was ransacked, possessions stolen, and they waited more than 12 hours for police to respond. CTV's Allison Hurst has the story.
A blue SUV pulls into the driveway and a person in plaid with a blue medical mask knocks on the door several times before leaving. Minutes later, what looks like the same car returns and 2 people get out, one wearing the same shirt but with a hood and a different face covering. They break in the door. Shortly after, a 3rd person joins and the car drives away.
That's when they disconnected the Wi-Fi, so we don't have any recording beyond that.
Rajendra Prasad was at work and rushed home when he saw what was happening on his security camera around 2:50 yesterday afternoon. He entered his home with a neighbor when he was sure no one was inside.
Everything is on the floor everywhere. Every single room, every single washroom, even the drawers and cabinets, even in the washrooms, they are all open. In the rooms, every drawer has been opened and thrown upside down on the floor.
His daughter, Sugand Gupta, was out and his wife had left the house just before the break-in. The only one home was the family dog, Mitzi.
My bed cover was covered. There was blood marks, there was urine, there was very clearly something had happened to her.
Gupta took Mitzi to the vet.
I'm still really afraid for her. We still have to keep a watch if she was drugged, and she's not herself. Yeah. And she's my child, she's everything to me.
Despite being called around 3:15 yesterday afternoon, Peel police did not arrive until just after 8 a.m. this morning.
When I read the call initially, I wasn't very happy with what I read either in terms of the delay that went by.
Peel police say it's uncommon for a call like this to wait so long, but yesterday there were several calls happening at the time, and 2 are still on the go.
It's violating, and no one should have to wait. Unfortunately, in this case, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, there's no one present anymore, and the danger has since ceased. So in that case, we can put this call off to the side so we can prioritize things that are happening now.
You see there are marks here.
Visible scratch marks can be seen on the family's front door, and Prasad says he had to secure it overnight so they could sleep. He says the suspects not only disabled the Wi-Fi,
They pulled down all of this,
but also ripped the PVR box out of the wall that held the security camera recordings. The family just wants to feel safe again.
We need to have safer cities. The fact that the police weren't able to come because so much crime was happening and so many other people were in distress, that it took them this long to arrive, that's scary.
Police say they're looking for at least 4 suspects. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
We have more news in a moment, but first, here's a live look at the city this afternoon. A lovely looking Friday, lots of sunshine, clear skies. We are back into the midsummer weather, even though it's October, and this warm trend will continue for the weekend. Lindsay Morrison is here with a look at the current conditions. Another warm day.
Another one, Nathan. We are warming up further as we make our way into Saturday and Sunday as well. This type of heat is not unheard of in the month of October, but some communities could come close to breaking temperature records as the days go on. Right now, it is 21 degrees here in the city of Toronto, already 24 in Niagara Falls. And yes, once again, we have a beautiful sunny sky. A couple of showers making their way through the Nickel Belt region. We, on the other hand, are going to remain dry through the weekend. Winds out of the south, light in nature. Here's today at a glance. 25 degrees is going to feel like 28 at the height of the day. And just want to bring you the fall colors report. Algonquin Park now at 100% color change. It's looking like a great weekend to spend some time outside. Dare I say, it might be a little hot, though. We're going to take you through the forecast coming up. For now, Nathan, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. The union representing striking Canada Post workers held an information picket in Vaughan this morning as the job action surpasses 1 week. Our CTV News chopper was over the Purelator Shipping Centre on Creditstone Road. Cup W says the goal of the picket is to educate the public about the current labor situation. The union is trying to negotiate a new contract and oppose proposed government budget cuts that include ending door-to-door delivery and closing some rural post offices. The pickets come as Canada Post presented a new contract offer to the union today. The Crown Corporation says it includes a wage increase of roughly 13% over 4 years, as well as pension and benefit protections. It also includes creating more part-time positions and delivery model changes Canada Post says are needed to build its parcel business.
Health officials in Alberta are confirming the province's first measles death this year, a baby born prematurely. The baby, whose mother contracted measles during pregnancy, died shortly after birth. Children under 5, those with weakened immune systems, and people who are pregnant are at highest risk for measles infections. Health experts say there has been a resurgence of measles as immunization rates have declined. And staying out west, a court deadline is fast approaching relating to the standoff at an ostrich farm in British Columbia. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has until today to respond after the Supreme Court of Canada put a stay on executing around 400 birds. Authorities have been trying to take that step following an avian flu outbreak. The farm's owners have pushed back, and the country's top court is now deciding whether it should weigh in. Lower courts have said the cull should be able to proceed.
Researchers are unveiling a promising new treatment option for people affected by Crohn's disease and other related conditions with the help of AI. CTV's Scott Hirsch joins us live with more details on this. Scott, this does sound pretty good. How much potential does this new treatment have?
Good afternoon, Nathan. Researchers at McMaster University just down the road in Hamilton and MIT have made 2 scientific breakthroughs at once. First, they've discovered a brand new antibiotic that targets IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, and they've been able to use AI to help predict exactly how the drug works. So first, let's focus on the disease, IBD, the most common being Crohn's and colitis. And here in Canada, it has one of the highest rates of Crohn's and colitis in the world, so the stakes are incredibly high. That's what takes us to the first breakthrough, the brand new antibiotic. Most antibiotics used in clinics are broad-spectrum drugs, meaning they wipe out good bacteria in addition to those that cause disease. But the new antibiotic discovered at McMaster is a narrow-spectrum drug, meaning it attacks only a specific group of disease-causing bugs. And according to researchers, the new drug is a really promising treatment candidate that could help alleviate symptoms and provide a much higher quality of life for hundreds of thousands of people here in Canada, Nathan, who are suffering from Crohn's and colitis.
What will that do to help?
Yeah, so the AI portion is very important here. And of course, there's a lot of talk about AI these days, both good and bad. But in this case, researchers say the development of the new drug has been fast-tracked thanks to the collaboration of humans and generative AI. Now, drug developers typically spend years and millions of dollars trying to determine a new drug's mechanism of action, MOA, or how it kills bacteria. Now, as the principal investigator pointed out, instead of years, they made the initial prediction thanks to AI in a matter of mere minutes. So using AI, this group completed a thorough MOA study in just 6 months and at a cost of just about $60,000. And it could prove to be quite a leap in medical research. And if all goes well, Nathan, the new drug could be ready for human trials within a couple of years.
All right, sounds promising. CTV's Scott Hirsch in the CTV National Newsroom. Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is heading to Washington next week to try to find a way past the trade and tariff impasse with U.S. President Donald Trump. The Prime Minister's office issuing a statement this morning saying Carney will be meeting President Trump at the White House on Tuesday. The visit is Carney's second as Prime Minister and comes as the two countries are locked in a trade war and as the U.S. President repeats comments referring to Canada as the 51st state.
The U.S. Senate will be voting this afternoon on a potential deal to reopen the U.S. government, but a last-minute deal between Democrats and Republicans is looking unlikely.
And so we've asked for negotiations. We wanted to negotiate, and the Republicans have simply refused to do so up to this moment.
This president has said he didn't shut this government down. It's the Senate Democrats who've done that, and it's frustrating to me as to why they would choose to hurt the American people.
While Republicans hold the House of Representatives, the Senate, and White House, the Democrats have enough votes to block bills in the Senate. They say they'd like to see funding for health coverage and other supports guaranteed before agreeing to a broader government funding bill. Republicans say the matter should be debated after the government is reopened. As the United Kingdom comes to terms with yesterday's deadly car and knife attack on a Manchester synagogue, police are sharing some new information about what unfolded as community members gathered for Yom Kippur prayers.
They now say it appears one of the two men killed at the scene may have been struck by a police bullet. The Greater Manchester Police Chief says a forensic exam found the victim had a wound consistent with a gunshot injury. He said the attacker did not have a gun and the only shots fired were by police. The 35-year-old suspect, who was wearing a fake explosives belt, was fatally shot by officers. The two men killed have been identified as 53-year-old Adrian Dalby and 66-year-old Melvin Kravitz. Three other victims were seriously hurt in what authorities describe as a terrorist attack. Police have also arrested three other people.
Make no mistake, Jewish people here are actively questioning whether we have a future in the United Kingdom and whether this country is going to be as welcoming to our children as it has been to myself and my family over many generations.
Just awful. It's really sad to see the effect it's having on everybody. It's not the country I want to live in. It's somewhere where people are being affected so awfully for just living their life. It's definitely not what anyone wants, and it's really sad to see.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer visited the Heaton Park Hebrew congregation in Manchester today, thanking emergency services and pledging to protect Britain's Jewish community amid heightened security concerns.
U.S. President Donald Trump has given Hamas a Sunday deadline to accept what he's calling a last-chance deal to disarm as Israeli forces move further into Gaza City. This comes as Israel intercepted the final boat of an activist aid flotilla.
Everybody sit down, nobody move, hands up in the air. We're running on board, nobody move.
The global Samud flotilla shared this footage. The final vessel was stopped a day after the Israeli Navy stormed 41 other boats and detained 450 activists. Israel's interception started on Wednesday night and continued through Thursday as boat by boat was stopped off Gaza's shore, and those on board, including Greta Thunberg, Nelson Mandela's grandson, and several European lawmakers, were detained. Israel is processing all of them for deportation. And tens of thousands of protesters took to the streets across Italy in support of the flotilla. The demonstration impacted air, rail, and port traffic, causing chaos for commuters. The general strike, called by two unions, followed demonstrations yesterday in cities across the world. In New York, a sentencing hearing for hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs is underway. A large crowd is gathered outside the New York courthouse where the sentence is being handed down. Combs was recently convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. On the eve of his sentencing, Combs submitted a letter to the judge pleading for mercy and a second chance. He could face more than 11 years in prison. His defense has argued he should get no more than 14 months in prison, including time already served.
Passengers who booked a Caribbean cruise are dealing with some disappointment after tropical storms forced their ship to head to Boston instead.
They didn't give us an itinerary change and 24 hours of notice in advance.
Some people didn't really know. It kind of sucked.
Some passengers arrived on board with the wrong clothing for their surprise destinations, which will also include 2 stops in Maine. Some said they wish they hadn't taken the trip in the first place. A Norwegian cruise line spokesperson said the safety of guests, crew, and the communities visited are always a top priority.
Well, when it comes to picking your clothing for this weekend, might I suggest shorts and T-shirts? Maybe you thought you were putting them away for the season, but yeah, it's going to feel more like July than October as we move into Saturday and Sunday. First, though, here's your Friday night. Maybe you're hoping to hit up a patio, and why not? Clear skies and temperatures in the 20s right through the middle of the evening. And then tomorrow, a big day in our city with the ALDS. The Blue Jays taking on the Yankees, and I have a feeling the Dome is going to be open for this one. There is the possibility of rain as we make our way through the next 7 days. I'll show you when and give you an idea of when more fall-like temperatures settle back in. Your 7-day forecast is after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, weekends are always exciting, but I think there are multiple reasons to be extra excited this weekend. Number one, the weather, because it's going to feel like summer, and also our Jays and the ALDS. I mean, This is such an exciting
like a perfect
time.
Friday. There is a buzz. You can feel it. All the anticipation and excitement for the game. Hopefully the roof is open, and hopefully the Jays get off on the right foot.
Yeah, I mean, if it were up to me, the Dome would be open. I don't have any control, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's going to feel like the middle of summer type of baseball as we make our way through the day tomorrow. Lots going on in the city, not just the Jays. Of course, the Argos are going to be playing. There's a few events happening around the GTA too, and it is nice to have some weather that's going to cooperate as we are very much now in fall, but we're getting a little bit of a bonus summer weekend here. Weather is brought to you by the Presler Law Firm. Injury lawyers, you don't pay unless they win. Just before we talk a little further about your local forecast, I do want to bring you up to speed on Hurricane Imelda. We had been tracking it all week long. It is no longer an issue. In fact, it is now post-tropical. The low has made its way well past Bermuda, but it did bring the island some pounding surf, some heavy rain, and some strong winds. We're going to keep an eye on the Atlantic and see if any more storms develop, because this season, generally speaking, has been pretty quiet, and North America has been pretty lucky as well. Let's bring it back to southern Ontario, because part of the reason that a lot of those storms, any ones that we have seen in the Atlantic, have steered or veered out to sea is because of high pressure that's been dominant here. And as a result, we are enjoying sunshine once again. We've also got an upper ridge that's making it feel very warm today. It's going to feel even warmer tomorrow, Sunday, and into Monday. So there's a couple of records that we're going to be watching. Tomorrow, I think we're going to come very close. The record to beat is 27.9 degrees, and that record was set only 2 years ago. So when I say this type of heat isn't unheard of in the month of October, it was not that long ago that we were in fact this warm. But some of the other records to beat a little bit higher and set several decades ago. So again, we'll be keeping an eye on things. Today, our forecast high is 25 degrees. It's going to feel like 28 at the height of the afternoon. And then tonight, overnight low, 13 degrees. This too is warmer than normal. A few clouds in the sky tonight, very light winds. And let's take you on a little journey around the province for tomorrow. Upper 20s this time around, highs of 27, 28 degrees, depending on where you are. Mid-20s in some of the cooler spots, but I wouldn't call this weather cool. It's still going to feel close to 30 as we make our way through the day tomorrow and the day after that as well. Never mind fall fair forecasts. These are like summer fair weather conditions, but it looks great if you're going to be heading out to any events in and around or outside of the GTA. It's all good. Here's the satellite and radar. All is clear. The sun is shining. It is a blue sky kind of day. There is this one front that we're watching, and with this, we could see a few showers make their way into parts of cottage country later today and into tomorrow. A little bit of an increase in cloud cover in spots for your Saturday too, but you'll notice that it remains dry through the short range forecast. If you're waiting for rain, some people are. We just have to wait until early next week. I'll show you which day in the 7-day forecast momentarily. So there's a look at the next few. Lots of sunshine, highs of 27 for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's going to feel like 32 on Sunday afternoon. And then it looks like we get into a few showers for Tuesday, maybe late day Monday, but more likely through the day on Tuesday. Here's a bit of a cool down through the middle part of next week. So highs around 14 degrees. So it's going to feel a little more like fall again. And I think for some who may find this just a little too hot in the month of October, this might feel like a breath of fresh air. That's your look at the forecast. Carry the fire for a world free from the fear of cancer with the Princess Margaret Home Lottery. The VIP prize deadline is tonight. You could win a BMW and a once-in-a-lifetime 7-night trip to Bali for 2 people, or take $100,000 cash, plus 3,500 lucky winners will get a $100 home lottery ticket. Over 17,000 prizes will be awarded, valued at more than $12 million. And that includes a $7 million grand prize featuring an Oakville show home built by Gata Homes, awarded fully furnished, professionally designed, and landscaped. Or the $3 million early bird prize package, including a lakefront Muskoka cottage, plus $50,000 cash, the $1.2 million bonus prize package with a luxury Yorkville condo, $50,000 cash, and a pair of season tickets for both the Maple Leafs and Raptors. Every ticket gives you a chance to win life-changing prizes and helps fund life-saving cancer research at the Princess Margaret. Get your tickets today at princessmargaretlotto.com or by calling 1-866-631-1234. Michelle, I'll send it over to you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Well, an initiative aimed at inspiring young women to take to the skies is landing at Billy Bishop Airport tomorrow.
Girls Take Flight will feature simulations and displays focused on encouraging young women to become the next generation of pilots, engineers, mechanics, and scientists. CTV's Jessica Smith joins us now live at the airport for a preview of the event. This sounds good, Jess.
Honestly, this is one of the coolest things I have ever been to. It is so cool to see these planes kind of in motion, but also what goes behind getting people into aviation, especially women and girls. And I'm joined by Leslie Page, the founder of Girls Take Flight. Talk to me about what got you into flying in the first place.
Well, about 20 years ago, my husband, who's a pilot, bought a little airplane, and he took me for my first flight ever in a small plane. And it was love at first flight.
See, that is just so cool, and I feel like you've been able to take this and turn it into not only an opportunity for women and girls to get into this industry, but also to learn about the other jobs. Yes, there's flying, but there is so much involved in aviation. What can people expect as they head into the day tomorrow? Because I know there's so much happening right across Billy Bishop.
Yes, all over the entire airport. There are exhibitors where you can learn about careers in aviation and pathways in education. You can get close up to the airplanes. You can even go inside some of the airplanes, for example, in the Porter jet. Not the Porter jet, the Porter Q400. And also there is a speaker series. Lots to see and do.
It really is unique when you get to kind of look inside some of these planes. Talk to me about kind of your favorite part of flying. If you can name just one of the favorite. I know there's probably a lot, but what is your favorite part about getting up in the air?
My favorite part is the takeoff. Every time my wheels leave the ground, I get that same thrill. It's exhilarating. It's freeing.
So for people who maybe can't make it out tomorrow, what's the best way for them to get in touch or to get in contact to learn more about this? Because I know you have more initiatives coming up in the new year.
I think the best way would be to look at the website. And also, there are flight schools all over the GTA. So here at the island, there's one called Island Air. And there are flight schools in Oshawa, Brampton, and all over at small airports. And they offer introductory flights at a small price, but it's worth, to get up in the air and you actually get to be in the controls of the airplane.
Listen, you got me at being in control of the airplane. And speaking of being in control, there's actually a female pilot taking off in a helicopter behind us right now. To finish things off, tell me, what's the one thing you want people to take away from this weekend? Because I feel like it is such a cool opportunity to get up in a plane, maybe for the very first time, and potentially become a female pilot.
I would say that there are no barriers to becoming a female pilot. The same barriers that there are to becoming a male pilot are the same as becoming a female pilot, and that would be things like cost and education and that type of thing. So I would say that my advice would be to just do it and have fun while you're doing it.
Speaking of having fun, there's helicopters taking off all around us. There's airplanes. Leslie, thank you so much. I'm going to send things back into the studio. We're going to learn a little bit more about these airplanes.
Thank you both. What a great day for flying. Well, it's not even Thanksgiving, but retailers are already looking way ahead to the holiday season. Coming up, we'll speak live with a retail expert about how things may be different when you do your Christmas shopping this year. Stay with us.
Returning to our coverage of the Blue Jays, manager John Schneider is speaking with the media right now. Let's listen in.
From even when we saw him here in the summertime, I think that they've made an effort to, shore up some defensive spots. I think adding McMahon and they're playing I think a little bit different type of game right now. It's just watching that series against Boston. Finding some different ways to score, utilizing some speed. It's relatively the same roster, but I think they're going about it a little bit differently, and that happens as the season winds down and as you get into the postseason. You still got to be very aware of the power potential with a lot of these guys, but I think that they've made some good additions at the deadline and played really well down the stretch.
Seat in the right corner, John. John, the Jays obviously are further now in the postseason. They have been in a long time without playing a game. What is success for you in the postseason?
Winning. I think for us, especially this year, it's playing our game. It's understanding how we play and how we use guys and what we're asking of guys. It's nice to win the division. It really is, and it's nice to set yourself up the way you want to. But once you get in it, man, success is about winning and just playing our game. That's the only way you can kind of think about it at this point.
And to your left, John, in the back, TV.
John, what are you hoping to see from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. when the game begins tomorrow?
I want Vlad to, play free. I think there's so many things that go into him when he is really good. And talking about from an offensive standpoint, I think he's used these past couple of days to get pretty damn close to where he needs to be from a swing standpoint. But I want him to play free. I don't want him to put pressure on himself because he is the face of this team. I want him to play how he plays every day. I think if he does that, he's going to find himself in some big moments and really needs to kind of just lock into what the task is in that moment. So I know we go to his offense, we go to the home runs. I need him to play good defense. I need him to run the base as well. But I think there's going to be some spots where he's up there, and I think that he's anxious to do something big and just realize that Vladdy needs to be Vladdy, and that'll take care of everything else.
Saturday's forecast is sunny and spectacular. Have you been told whether or not the roof will be open or closed?
Have not been told 100%. I know that that's up to the league. Seems like a pretty good day for it to be open. Just in terms of temperature and things like that. So I think they make that call tomorrow morning, but it seems like a pretty good chance for it to be open.
The third row at your
All right, listening to Blue Jays manager John Schneider talking about a few things before the big game tomorrow, the Jays hosting the Yankees. As for the roof, whether it's going to be open or closed, the decision is up to MLB, not the Blue Jays. So we'll find out. Hopefully it will be, but bottom line, big game. The Jays and Yankees finished with the same record throughout the season. The Jays finished, though, head-to-head if they were 8-5. So you would think they have an edge, but it is the playoffs. Anything can happen. Of course, we'll keep on following that news conference and give you updates at 5 and 6 tonight.
And from hopefully hitting it out of the park this weekend to hitting the mall, while the weather outside sure doesn't feel like it, holiday shopping season is now upon us with major sale events happening this month. But this year is expected to look a little different amid a higher cost of living and more caution from consumers. Joining us now to break it all down is retail analyst Bruce Winder. Bruce, great to have you on. It's definitely early in the holiday shopping season, but what is on your radar right now?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's quite interesting. You've got a few events happening suddenly right now in October. Starting next week, you've got Amazon's Prime Big Deal Days event, which kicks off. And you've also got some other events from other retailers like Canadian Tire and Walmart. And, believe it or not, we're starting earlier and earlier every year to try to get those holiday sales. But this year, there are some differences. This year, some retailers are cutting back on discretionary items. Costco mentioned that they're cutting back on trees and toys and some other decor. You've also got the use of AI bots. So a lot of people are using AI agents to help do the search, if you will, the heavy lifting of looking at what's possibly going to be there for their loved ones. We might see a little bit of inflation too, directly or indirectly from the U.S. tariffs. And it's going to be a little harder for retailers because Canada's population is sort of settling down and being a little flat versus previous years.
And Bruce, are consumers on board with this? Are they really, even with sales, thinking, oh, I'll do my Christmas shopping in October?
I think that consumers are on board with it if the price is right. You know, if the deal's good enough, they will strike. If it's lukewarm deals, they won't strike. So when I looked at, Amazon's approach for next week, there's a lot of really sharp deals there. And I think that's important because they know the consumer is not going to buy now unless it's a really good value, really good price.
So when you say sharp deals, are we talking really good stuff that'll make people empty their wallets?
Oh, yeah, you can see things like 30, 50, even 60% off in some cases. And that's what it requires now. It requires really good value, really good savings. The other thing that folks have done, including Amazon, is offer more essentials, like I mentioned. A lot of people, they only have so much money to spend, and they still have to buy essentials for their family, whether it's shoes or clothing. Well, they're using some of that holiday money to do that as well.
And what does this suggest? How tough is it for retailers right now? Are these tariffs proving to be a real weight on them?
For some retailers, it is a bit of a weight. If you're buying from U.S. companies who import from Southeast Asia, you're feeling it big time. Even if you're the big companies and you're buying from Southeast Asia direct, a lot of suppliers over there are putting pressure on prices to try to increase them to offset how they've had to eat prices for American customers.
Now, since you're a retail expert, and I'm assuming a lot of people haven't started their shopping, what would your advice be? How should we approach it? Should we be actually looking to buy some stuff this month? Can we wait till we're maybe more in the holiday spirit?
No, I think it's good to buy some stuff, especially if you see something you need and especially something at a good price. I would buy it because supply chains have been a little bit messy this year as well based on the tariffs. And, you probably want to get out there, use AI to help you. Amazon has something called Rufus as an example where you can go on their website, use Rufus, and it'll do the heavy lifting and help you search. So definitely, I think consumers should strike if they see something that's attractive to them.
Are you shopping right now, Bruce?
I will probably do select shopping right now, but sadly, I'm one of those late December guys.
Ah, the last minute. Okay. Glad you're honest with us. Bruce Winder, retail analyst, we appreciate it.
Thanks very much. Take care.
Take care. And after the break, the iconic voice behind many Maple Leaf memories is hanging up his microphone. We sit down with the legendary Joe Bowen ahead of his final season in the broadcast booth.
Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Well, the upcoming hockey season will mark the last time for longtime Maple Leafs play-by-play announcer Joe Bowen.
Austin Matthews, 4 goals! Do you believe this? Holy backing the kid's on fire!
It's iconic voice there. The Leafs say there will be a tribute night for the 74-year-old Sudbury native on December 16th when the Chicago Blackhawks are in town. It's the same team the Leafs played when he called his first NHL game in October of 1982. He's been the play-by-play voice for 44 years.
The enthusiasm and the energy has always been there. I've certainly passed that on to my 4 sons, and I'm sure they're passing it on to my grandkids too. It's just me. That's the way I have always been. Our family has loud voices, and unfortunately at times we use them. I don't really know if it would be anything different than just who I am.
Sure put his voice to good use. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame back in 2018.
Many Taylor Swift fans stayed up past midnight to be among the first to stream her brand new album. That's the track, The Fate of Ophelia, from Swift's 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl. As Swifties take in the 12 songs, many are also heading to movie theaters. That's because the music superstar is debuting a cinematic release party at 3 o'clock. They'll get an early look at the album's first music video. Now, Swift has said dancing at those events is optional but encouraged.
Toronto's annual all-night celebration of art is happening this weekend. Nuit Blanche will once again transform public spaces into more than 80 impressive art installations, combining a mix of sights and sounds at displays all across Toronto. The theme for this year's event is translating the city. Subway service will be running all night long alongside the regular night bus network.
The award-winning yet controversial American drama Slave Play has now opened at the Canadian stage.
CTV's Andrea Case has more on how the play explores race and relationships.
As the Associate Artistic Director of Canadian Stage, Jordan Lafreniere knew the moment he first saw the 12-time Tony-nominated production of Slave Play, he wanted to direct it and bring it to Toronto.
It's an extraordinary experience. I mean, this play is a play that has meant a lot to me for a really long time. And I think part of the reason that it's meant so much to me is when I saw it in New York, I felt like it was revealing a secret that we all keep. And that secret is that slavery is still very much a part of our contemporary society.
The production has chosen to release scenes of the play without dialogue. We have added music from the New York production. The show deals with the intersection between sex and race with 3 interracial couples. They take part in therapy, which has them role play as master and slave.
How do you, in a relationship, continue to access the fullness of your identity?
When he first saw it, Lafreniere was angered by the first act.
I couldn't understand what was going on, and I so saw the play as face value. And then when the reveal happened in the second act, I was just so moved and thought that this play was saying something extraordinary that was always present in me, but that I never had the words to say.
Slave Play has been called a love story by some. Others find it controversial, and protests have been waged against it.
There's so many ways this play can sit with somebody, and actually what I'm fascinated with is how the theater can be a place where many people with many different perspectives can come and witness the same thing and actually not share in the same opinion of how it unfolds. It's a really hot ticket. The first 2 weeks are sold out completely. People are emailing me for tickets. It's so difficult.
Slave Play is on stage now at Canadian Stage Berkeley Street Theatre until October 26th. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Coming up, the beauty of nature. Thousands of tourists head to Ontario to check out the changing colors of the fall leaves. We'll take you to Algonquin Park after the break.
Well, all the gorgeous weather expected this weekend is the perfect time to check out the changing colors of the season.
Here in Ontario, the fall leaves draw thousands of visitors from all over the world to check out the stunning scenery. CTV's Rob Cooper reports.
Whether it's Mississauga or Algonquin Park, you don't have to look very far to find a perfect view.
We heard a lot about Algonquin Park. It will be like so beautiful in the fall season. So we want to experience that one.
You like what you see so far?
Oh, yeah.
This time of year, it's all about the fall colors. People from all over the world flock to the region just to snap the perfect pic.
I'm from Germany and I want to see the fall. Just I expected. Yes. It's beautiful, the wet trees.
Staff at Algonquin Provincial Park said the colors are already at its peak for the season, a little early, partly because of the summer drought.
Yeah, so right now we're actually at 100% with 30% leaf drop. So we are at peak here in Algonquin Park, especially with our reds and oranges. Those yellows and golden colors are still to come, however.
Known as the Golden After Show, those yellows and oranges will likely appear later in the month.
So good to be up here. It's good for the soul, peace of mind, all that. But I've seen better years, but I'd rather be here.
Got up here a little later than I expected, but so far so good, and it's absolutely beautiful out here, so how could you not want to be up here?
About 1.4 million people visit the park every year. The majority of those show up during the fall season for the colors. Visitors are reminded to avoid parking next to Highway 60 for obvious safety reasons. While the colors may not be as dominant as previous years, the show is still a go until the wind and rain arrive.
Wind and rain are certainly a buzzkill. Wind and rain, of course, knock the leaves down and actually creates a shorter fall color season.
Honestly, personally, I don't really like the full red color. I prefer the color with different
let's say, yellow, orange and green and everything mixed together. It makes me feel like much better.
It is beautiful to see, isn't it? The changing colors.
And when you hear about tourists coming to enjoy it, it makes you think, oh gosh, we have to do a better job of taking it in ourselves.
Absolutely. And this is the weekend, as mentioned, not only with the weather forecast, but as mentioned, colors are peaking, especially in central parts of Ontario. So here's your cottage country weekend forecast. It looks great. Get outside and enjoy. I know Thanksgiving is about a week away. Be nice if those reds could hang on until then, but you never know. So enjoy while you can. Tomorrow's forecast daytime high here in Toronto, 27 degrees, but it's going to feel like 31. Very similar temperature for Sunday and for Monday. A cool down comes through the middle of next week and a few showers on Tuesday. Michelle and Nathan.
Thank you, Lindsay. And that is CTV News at noon. Remember, you can get Toronto's breaking news all day long on CP24 and at our website, ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here, have a pleasant afternoon. I'm Michelle Dubé.
And I'm Ethan Downer. Be sure to join us later for CTV News at 5 and 6. Have a great afternoon.